Welcome to Inside Insight, your quick hit of tips, tools, and trends for manufacturing, distribution, and Dynamics 365 Business Central, brought to you by InsightWorks.
Ever feel like you're just drowning in information? Trying to sift through everything just to really understand one complicated thing. It's a constant battle these days, isn't it? Needing to get up to speed fast without getting lost in the weeds. Well, that's exactly what we're doing today. We're taking a deep dive into something really vital, but maybe a bit overlooked sometimes: manufacturing production scheduling. Yeah. And specifically, we're looking at it inside Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central. Our mission basically is to unpack how this key part of operations it's really transforming. We're seeing this shift away from just gut feeling and intuition towards intelligent automation. And we want to explore why this is more than just a tech upgrade, why it's strategically crucial for anyone in modern manufacturing.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it, because for a very long time, production scheduling, especially in ERP systems like Business Central, it really did lean heavily on visual tools and, honestly, on human intuition. You'd have schedulers, often really experienced people, literally dragging orders around on a screen, on a Gantt chart. They're trying to manually balance all these competing demands and constraints.
Okay, so visually dragging things around. It sounds intuitive, maybe?
It feels intuitive, absolutely, especially if you think back to maybe simpler times, less complex production. But the reality is that approach introduced a lot of risk, a lot of inconsistency, and that's a huge problem in today's environments. Like high mix production, multiple manufacturing stages. Complexity is just the name of the game now.
Okay, let's unpack that a bit more. This manual method, the drag and drop thing, it seemed like solid scheduling practice once. It probably made sense when things were stable, predictable, maybe lower volume, like a craftsman managing a familiar workshop. So what fundamentally changed? Why is sticking with that method now not just inefficient, but actually kind of risky?
Well, the whole manufacturing landscape just accelerated past what one person can manually optimize effectively. Think about it. We've got much tighter lead times, huge increases in product variety, sometimes down to individual customization. And then there's the constant stream of disruptions, supply chain issues, labor shortages, machine breakdowns. It's relentless.
Right.
So clinging to those old ways, the manual tweaks, relying on someone just seeing the right sequence, it's not discipline anymore. It's really a sign that your scheduling processes haven't caught up with the technology that's available now. If your production's evolved, your scheduling has to evolve too. It's that simple.
And it sounds like a big part of this is that reliance on tribal knowledge, right? That one key person who just knows how everything works.
Oh, absolutely. That's a classic situation. And it sounds great until you realize how vulnerable it makes you. Manual scheduling basically assumes one person can hold all these variables in their head. Which machines can sub for others, which jobs save setup time if run together, who's available to work, are the materials even here yet? I mean, think about juggling all that for hundreds of production orders in Business Central. It's immense.
Impossible, almost.
Pretty much, and it creates this huge bottleneck, this single point of failure. What if that scheduler is sick or overloaded, or worse, what if they leave the company? All that crucial knowledge just walks out the door. And, studies back this up. Research shows manual methods lead directly to more variability, more inconsistency. We're talking potentially 15-20% higher overtime costs, more scrap. It adds up fast.
Okay, so if intuition and this fragile tribal knowledge just aren't cutting it anymore in this complex world, what's the big shift? What's the answer?
The clear direction, the paradigm shift, is towards advanced automated scheduling systems. These systems are built precisely to tackle these challenges, the complexity, the variability. They work by taking that tribal knowledge, all those subtle rules, preferences, constraints that only the expert knew, and translating it into configurable logic. Rules the system understands.
So it's codified.
Exactly. Instead of someone guessing the best sequence, the system evaluates every single job based on parameters you define. Things like, how important is this customer? Are these jobs part of the same setup family? Are the materials ready? What's the actual real-time capacity on that machine? The schedule it produces is consistent, it's responsive, and it's grounded in reality, not just a hunch.
And the key benefit there sounds like repeatability.
Absolutely critical. Automation gives you a repeatable system, so when demand suddenly spikes or key people are out or a supplier is late, the underlying logic is still there. The system just adapts to the new inputs. It means the shop floor doesn't just grind to a halt because the main scheduler called in sick. It keeps things flowing.
That makes a lot of sense for consistency, for control. But let's be real. A lot of places, maybe even using Business Central, they still mostly schedule by just the due date. Feels simple, right? Keep the customer happy. But is that really the best way now, or is it kind of deceptively simple? This is where it gets really interesting.
You nailed it. It's a really common pitfall. Scheduling only by due date often doesn't work well anymore. Think about why. Sales might put in default dates without checking capacity, or MRP runs might backschedule from that due date. But they don't always consider the real constraints. Machine availability right now, tooling, labor. It often creates schedules that look okay on paper but just aren't feasible.
Okay, so how do automated systems handle prioritization better?
They move beyond just dates to incorporate business-defined priority logic. It's about strategy. So for example, you can set rules, so rush orders for your top-tier customers automatically jump the queue, or maybe high-margin jobs get prioritized to boost profitability. Maybe jobs that are late but feed critical downstream assemblies get pushed forward. These aren't just simple date sorts, they're complex decisions based on your business goals.
And the system makes these calls quickly.
In seconds. What would take a scheduler hours of digging through data, the system does almost instantly based on the rules. The scheduler's job changes. They're not analyzing every single order anymore. They're maintaining and refining those strategic rules. It shifts from firefighting to proactive planning.
That sounds like a game changer. And speaking of saving time, another huge time sink on the floor is changeovers. That setup time between jobs. Always a pain point.
Oh, massive, huge pain point. Setup optimization is, well, it's fundamental to maximizing throughput. Whether you're swapping a mold, changing paint color, doing an allergen clean down in food processing, it all takes time. Trying to sequence manually to minimize those setups is incredibly tedious and honestly easy to get wrong.
Connects to lean principles, I guess.
Right.
Reducing waste.
Exactly. Setup production is classic lean. It's one of the fastest ways to unlock hidden capacity and boost productivity. And automated scheduling is brilliant at this. It intelligently groups operations that share setup characteristics. So if you've got 5 jobs needing the same blue paint or the same special tool, the system sequences them together. Boom, you eliminate 4 changeovers right there. If a particular changeover is known to take a long time, like that full washdown, the system will actively try to avoid it unless absolutely necessary.
So minimum setup, maximum uptime.
That's the goal. And it can handle complex situations too, like where a setup involves changing both a tool and a material. You can configure rules for all of that, specific to how your shop actually works. We've seen clients take changeovers that used to take hours down to minutes. It's incredible the capacity it frees up.
That's really powerful. But okay, let's talk reality. The best plan. Well, it's only good until something goes wrong, right?
Absolutely. Murphy's Law definitely applies to manufacturing.
So machines break, materials are late, someone calls in sick, a customer needs an urgent order now. How do these automated systems cope with that constant chaos, that unpredictability?
Yeah, a static plan is pretty much useless the moment it hits the shop floor. Things change constantly. That's why real-time rescheduling based on actual feedback is so crucial. It has to be dynamic. Automated systems can regenerate the schedule frequently, maybe hourly, maybe even more often, depending on the need. They pull in the latest data directly from Business Central, what's actually been completed, any reported downtime, labor changes, rework.
So it's always reflecting reality.
Exactly. The new schedule reflects what's actually happening right now, not some theoretical plan from yesterday. And the key is you don't have to scrap the whole thing and start over manually. That would be a nightmare. Schedulers can run partial regenerations, maybe just for one machine, or just the jobs affected by the disruption. It maintains continuity without all the stress and manual rework. It builds in agility.
Okay, this sounds incredibly capable, but I can imagine some pushback. The idea of automation taking over scheduling, doesn't that mean losing control? Losing that human touch, the ability to make judgment calls?
That's a really common concern, and it's understandable. But it's mostly a misconception. Good automation doesn't mean losing control. It means automating the routine, the predictable, the complex calculations, which frees up the scheduler to focus on the exceptions, the genuine judgment calls.
So you can still intervene?
Absolutely. Schedulers can still adjust the logic, tweak the rules temporarily, or even manually pin a specific job if there's a really unusual situation. But those interventions become the exception, not the rule they follow all day, every day. And crucially, these systems aren't rigid black boxes. They are highly configurable to how your specific plant operates.
Not one size fits all.
Definitely not. You can have different rules for different work centers. You can define alternate machines, rank them by preference or cost. You can build subcontracting steps right into the routing. You can even use things like lot splitting to run big jobs across multiple machines. Think of it less like losing control and more like getting a super intelligent co-pilot that's tailored to your exact operation.
Okay, so let's pull this together. We've gone from this idea of a scheduler visually managing everything, which maybe worked okay 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
But that model just crumbles under the weight of modern complexity. Hundreds of orders, dozens of machines, constant change. It's just too much for one person to juggle optimally.
It really is. The best run, most competitive manufacturers today, they are not using whiteboards. They're not relying on spreadsheets or manually tweaking Gantt charts all day. That's just not how you compete effectively anymore. Instead, they rely on these advanced systems that can prioritize strategically, group jobs intelligently to cut downtime, regenerate schedules based on real-time execution, and scale up without just hiring more people to stare at screens. This isn't futuristic stuff anymore. This is becoming the standard for manufacturers who want to stay ahead. It turns scheduling from a reactive headache into a proactive, strategic advantage.
And for you listening, especially if you're using Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central and maybe feeling some of those pain points we talked about, the manual effort, the inconsistencies, the firefighting, there really is a much better way now. Solutions like, for example, InsightWorks MX APS, that's an advanced finite capacity scheduler built right inside Business Central. It delivers exactly what we've been discussing: the automated rule-based prioritization, the smart setup grouping, the real-time rescheduling, that flexible engine you can tailor. It basically supercharges Business Central's production capabilities. So what we've really charted today is this fundamental shift in production scheduling within the Business Central world, moving away from high-risk, intuition-based methods towards a process that's consistent, responsive, automated, and adaptable. And this isn't just about being more efficient. It's truly about gaining a strategic edge in today's manufacturing landscape.
Yeah, and it leaves us with a really important question to ponder, doesn't it? In a world that demands agility, precision, and data-driven speed, how much longer can those traditional, manual, intuition-heavy approaches to scheduling really keep up with the complex demands of modern manufacturing? It's something every operation really needs to think about. It's not just about keeping pace anymore. It's about how you get ahead.